Hey there Nocturnals, it's 2 AM and I'm shooting my vlog. 2 AM! My sleep patterns are screwed, I tell you. Like, I'm just out of whack. So I thought I'd talk about my favourite 4 vloggers. Now all 4 vloggers are cool for different reasons, so that's why I thought I'd mention them. If you're interested in daily vloggers, I highly recommend you check out all 4. So number 1 on the list is Casey Neistat. Obviously, everybody's into Casey. He does great things. He's got a really interesting cutting style. He's got an interesting voice. I don't mean his actual voice, I mean what he says on the camera. He tells a good story. So if you haven't checked out Casey Neistat already, then you should definitely check him out. Then the next on the list is Ben Brown. Ben Brown is a ex-kayaking champion, and he is based in South Africa and Britain, Great Britain. At the moment he's currently vlogging from Rio, where he is attending the Olympics. He's an ex-world champion himself, so he's pretty used to the competitive circuit. I highly recommend checking out his vlog. They're always really interesting. He's got a really big heart. He really feels for his subject matters. He really feels for his audience, which is really cool. And along the lines of vloggers who really care about the audience and have a really big heart, I'd put in the next on the list, number 3, Roman Atwood. Roman Atwood is really cool. He's been around for a while, and Roman's interesting in that he has a family. I mean, Casey also has a family, but Roman has 2 kids and he lives in Ohio. So you kind of get a good slice of life of living in Ohio, in the same way in which Casey gives you a good slice of life what it's like to live in New York City. So he's a very interesting vlogger. Really does really cool things. Kind of started off doing prank channel, and now it's more sort of based around what happens in his family, and it's just really nice to see the journey that him and his family are on. And 4th on my list is Jon Olsen. Actually, I'd say that you probably consider it to be Jon and Marcus, because Marcus is his camera guy. He's probably the only vlogger that I know who has a camera guy, and it makes the vlogs really interesting, and they're really slick. Marcus knows what he's doing when it comes to editing. Jon is also a photographer, so he's got a good eye for things, and the cool thing there is that, you know, he lives in Monaco and Marbella in Spain. I've really been enjoying watching his vlogs just simply because it gives me that feeling of being back in the south of France again, because though obviously Monaco and Marbella aren't in France, that south of France area is very close to them, and it's hot, and the streets are very similar, and there's supercars everywhere, and it's really cool. It's just really fun to be there again. It's interesting and inspiring to see him go and jump off cliffs, but I mean, the guy is crazy. He's another world champion. He's world champion freestyle jump skier. I'm not quite sure exactly what his sports background is, but I know he's another world champion when it comes to skiing. He loves supercars. He runs his own company called Douchebags, which is a really, really interesting company. He's a good businessman. He's really a nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy on camera. I really like Jon's channel, and he does really interesting things. He's constantly trying to up himself when it comes to doing interesting things. He calls his team Overkill, because that's what they do. They just go overboard. So he'll do things like they'll go out on the boat, they'll go out on the jet ski, and they have Lamborghinis, and they'll take Lambos up glaciers and do crazy things like that. And all 4 of these guys, they know their equipment, they're good with the gear, visually everything's really on par. They all have drones, so you always get cool aerial footage. And the interesting thing about all these vlogs is they're spread out throughout the world in different areas. So it's kind of like a bit of a microscope on the earth. You get to see, like, living here in New Zealand and kind of being isolated from the world a little bit, kind of crave these other places. And this is the great thing about vloggers in other places in the world, and who do daily vlogs, is that you can be there and kind of living everywhere in the world, but you don't have to sort of leave your country. Now that's the world that we live in now. They're almost like avatars. These daily vloggers are almost like avatars, except you can't control what they do. So they'll have a unique journey that you don't have, and that means that they don't have bad days when you have bad days, or, you know, they don't have good days when you have good days. So you can get a variety of life. So it's getting to the point now with watching these vloggers and regularly watching these vloggers, where you almost feel like you're living more than one life. And that's amazing. Now a special mention has to go to Austin and Haley's channel. Now I find that really cool as well, because they're a young couple who live in California. So again, you get another interesting part of the country in the States, and another completely different social scene and different dynamics. Plus it's just really sweet to see this young couple and their journey. And then here locally in New Zealand is Will Fleming. Now Will Fleming's really interesting. He's an Auckland vlogger, he's just started, but he's really putting himself 100% into his vlogs, and he's trying different things, he's finding his foot. He's a new vlogger, but I am really interested to see what he does, and I hope that he really sticks with it. So those are my favourite vloggers, my favourite 4 and 2 additionals. I'll put links to all of these vloggers in the description for this video, so you can check them out yourself. And I hope you've had a great evening. Remember, if you've had a bad day, don't worry. Tomorrow can be better. Just keep faith, keep hope, keep focused on the future. Make sure you visualize what you want to be, who you want to be, and where you want to be, and what you want to do. And hopefully it will happen for you. So I'll leave you on that note, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.